Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
All right, so a little bit of a different vibe than our last story. How's everyone feeling settling into at the beginning of Kingmaker? Is this what you thought it would be?
I had no idea what to expect from everyone else, but I knew my character was going to be a douche, so it's working out so far.
I really like the anti-noble vibe we have going on already.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of kingdom all of you anti-authority figures.
Yeah.
Do you like that vibe, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep beating on you. That's all.
He can take it. He's fine.
Jason. Oh, come on. My character can fight them if he's possessed. Drosharis over here last season, so I think he's fine.
Yeah.
It is weird because the only context I have for playing with this group is like me being the antagonist to everyone and trying to not do that is kind of hard. And then also seeing like Jason and Jared like badgering each other is kind of hilarious because you guys were you were buddies in the last season.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and you were both kind of like, like above it all, like morally righteous characters in the last one. And so this is kind of amusing to see.
So what are you thinking so far of the people you've met? What's the group vibe? Thumbs up, thumbs down on the personalities that have showed up so far?
They are making it harder for Nikolai to be liked by his party. And I'm making it easy on him.
That's true.
But it's cool because, I don't know, it's new and they are really well-rounded characters, as you can see from like showing us the book or whatever. Like these people have some pretty extensive backgrounds. So I'm interested to get to know these PCs a little bit more.
Yeah.
I will
why
say
they're here.
Ari is going to spend the rest of the night just trying to trip Tartucky as much as possible.
I love it.
I'm going to roll a medicine check to see how drunk she is. And if she needs help.
For the record, I worship Caden Kalian.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the literal drunk hero is the name of the god. And
Caden Kalian's great.
Yeah.
Great.
And also, I feel like part of the reason I wanted that for this character is like, his whole thing is that he like accidentally became a god and is like just kind of a normal dude. And I feel like it fit in sort of well with what we're going for in this adventure.
In a bet, right? Or a gamble of some sort.
Kalian never planned to become a god, but when a drunk friend challenged him to take the test of the Starstone, an equally inebriated Kalian accepted, forgetting that only two mortals, Aroden and Norgbur, had passed the test. Another story claims that Caden was prompted to take the test after his advances had been rejected by the goddess Calistria herself.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. For what it's worth, the test of the Starstone isn't just like, well, sign me up and see if I pass. It's like at the bottom of a whole death dungeon.
It's not just the American Ninja Warrior stage.
No.
It says, regardless, after 3 days had passed, the Soul Sword, to everyone's surprise, including his own, emerged as a deity. He could not remember how he passed the test, but continued as a god in much the same way as he had it as a mortal, doing whatever he wanted, fighting for just causes, and enjoying the drink.
As a matter of fact, one of my favorite things about Caden Kalian is that it is anathema to Caden Kalian to be a mean drunk.
Yeah.
Like he will straight up punish you as a god.
A jolly drunk.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And my two favorite bits of flavor, because I think we talked in the last season about like boons and like boons and curses or boons and banes of the gods. The minor boon of Caden Kalian is that you are never hungover. That's it. There's no mechanical benefit. You're just never hungover.
So cool.
The minor boon.
I want that in real life.
Me too.
Sorry, the minor bane or the minor curse of Caden Kalian is you have someone else's hangover every morning. Like you take one hangover out of the world away and you have to have it every morning.
That is a literal nightmare.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Remind me to never piss off my god.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There's even a whole book with like a relic that is not just one made. His actual stein that he drank from the night he became a god is a holy relic that he will occasionally gift to a mortal for a time so that they can use it. And not only can they drink from it to get all sorts of benefits, they can throw it like Thor's hammer.
Amazing.
That's cool.
It's great. The lore. That's right. We still have to spin up our Galarian Gods podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
If you end up being a mean drunk, I'm pointing at Jane. We all have to get drunk too, so she has our hangover.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if she's getting me and like, all right, everybody, let's get fucked up.
No,
feel
she's
bad.
like a tricksy fun drunk.
Yeah. You've been fun so far.
Yeah.
Nikolai,
She's only going to be
little
mean to that.
pickpocket.
Yeah. Just like a little bit of
The cute
sneaky
light
behavior. Just like petty crime.
Well, look, we actually, I don't think I've talked about this on air, but we're recording this in the summer of 2023. Paizo has announced they're doing some remasters that are coming out this fall. A little bit of that is the OGL stuff, and then just sort of them saying like, hey, this game's been out for a few years and we're going to make some quality of life changes. Alchemists are getting some quality of life. Alchemist is the big one. Champions are getting a touch. Anyway, one of the things they did say though is that they are removing alignment from the game. There's a lot of more you can dive into the background on that, and there's a lot of people have opinions on that. But really, it just means that as far as I can tell, good damage and evil damage will become holy damage and unholy damage, and will really matter if you're a lot more mechanically or narratively invested in the war between heaven and hell. Otherwise, though, what they've sort of said is that people will just have edicts and anathema. Look at the gods, for example. So what I did with this group, as a lot of us are also big fans of a certain game called Delta Green, is I said, hey, have an edict and anathema, but as sort of a way to build that and sort of step up to it is pick some motivations, sort of Delta Green style, and some things you're adverse to. Now, you know what? I won't make everyone, because maybe your character's a little close to your chest, but does anyone feel like they're willing to share a motivation or aversion that your character has, something that can tell a little bit about who they are? Maybe you've already started to see that a little bit.
I think you've already kind of seen the Erastal edicts kind of coming out in Nikolai, the caring for your home and your family and not bringing dishonor to your family, and taking care of those who need shelter.
Yeah, cool.
We're not all dickheads.
Why'd you look at me?
Anyone else have any motivations or aversions they're willing to share? And it's fine to keep it in. This is episode 2.
Ari's motivation is one of her motivations. Well,
Let's
I'll
get
share
fucked
2.
up.
One
Okay.
is have a good time.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
a good motivation.
The second one is maybe like not something that she's as outward about, but it's like standing up for the little guy. Like she wants to she hates bullies. She wants to like stand up for people. And I think the fact that Biff is actually so little, she's like kind of like almost protective, or, you know, like pickpocketing the guy who's being an asshole to everyone. Is just kind of like, there's going to be these little like acts of what she sees as her own little version of justice.
Very swashbucklery.
Amazing.
Swashy McBucklestein.
I'll share. So it hasn't really come into play yet, but I am a mastermind rogue. So there's some academia background. He wants to be able to contribute to the lore of Galarian or the study of something.
Oh, cool. So I didn't even know that like before I prepped it, but it was fun for me then to have some of those quotes from like academic texts about these subjects.
Ivory Tower, huh?
The
I
granite
will
tower
share
here.
an aversion for Biff, which I think has already kind of been made apparent. He's trying to avoid notice from someone or a group.
That was a great, I enjoyed that bit of role play in the last one where you were
fun.
like, keep that to a tat circle.
Also, like, I think we've mentioned that like at least Trent and I both met working in journalism. And anyone who's ever taken a photo at a public event, there's always someone who's like, no, is that going to the paper? And you're like, well, I am from the newspaper. We better not put my face anywhere. And I'm like, okay, I respectfully, I won't. But also, dude, you are in public.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people have seen your
You
face.
literally responded to a call for heroes.
Like I had somebody once who was, you know, on a Saturday afternoon was drinking at a beer garden, you know, at a city event. And the photographer took a picture and they were like, well, I don't want my picture being out there drinking beer. And it was like, dude, it is 2022. You know, like it's fine.
So I did realize I did have a photo I didn't share with all of you last time. So I think while I'm kind of getting us back into it, it's because I do in fact have a timeline of events for this evening. So I can say that you got in about 6:50 p.m. And that's a little bit after that is when Lady Jamandi and Lord Mayor Iosif Salaminas came in. I'm working on these names. They don't feel natural yet. It's
okay.
new stuff. But I realized I did have a nice little illustration. I described her as a half elf who looked like almost dressed and ready for battle. I'm not going to play the drop. We got a lot of use out of the described drop last time, and there's still more NPCs to meet this time. But I did want to share with you what she looks like. If anyone wants to like take a little bit at describing, this is just a headshot.
She's kind of attractive.
Yeah, kind of a babe. Like Gal Gadot, if Gal Gadot were a fantasy elf.
I believe that's Gail Gadot. that's an old throwback joke.
Yeah, pin that. I have to tell you about something later.
I was thinking Jennifer Connelly.
Okay.
She's kind of got a
Like-
dope scar too.
Also
Yeah.
probably been to prison, has an eyebrow scar.
I think that's the whole sword lord duelist thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be rude, but she has some of the biggest elf ears I've ever seen.
Yeah, those are pretty big.
Those are pretty
The
notable.
later editions have been
That's
like
a
really
half?
playing up the size. Yeah,
That's a
that's a half
half
elf. It's different from elf to elf. But yeah, she's got that like long, thick, dark hair. And you can just see in that like headshot. And Jason kind of touched on it. We were talking a little bit about some of the character. You definitely get a little bit of like Slavic influence in parts of the Broken Lands up here. And so you can kind of see like the big, heavy fur collars on cloaks around her. It's kind of a fun mix because like traditionally a lot of the really famous like light sword duelists in Europe, and there's a lot of different countries. Like, let me be really clear that I'm talking about European rapiers. You get a lot of the culture for that dueling out of like Italy and Spain. The Germans had their like Messer, which actually is structurally a little bit closer to the Aldori longsword because it's single bladed. There's a curve at the top, and that had a lot of like Eastern influences. You got a lot of like Ottoman and Turkish stuff in there. So we are looking in Breville much more at like the Eastern Europe aesthetics kind of coming in, and it's cool to see that in some of the art already with the cloaks and everything.
Can I see her name again?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just hand you the iPad and trust you.
Anything else I need to look up while I got this, guys?
TCs, you want to grab that, who the main boss is. You can just start stabbing right now. Maybe they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
you're
definitely going to be that guy we pickpocketed. Like the boss of the whole adventure.
stab. So
Tartucky.
Kentucky.
every single adventure, there's someone you guys give a name to. That's like just totally custom name.
I think it's really funny how in role-playing games, like very often there will be one person who's like, hello, and everyone's like, fuck that guy. And like everybody hates them right away.
Well, in King Naked, there's a lot of room for me to just adjust the story to whoever you hate, you making an enemy out of them. But let's kind of dive back to our feast table. I think probably the second course is done. And so we're probably moving towards the third course, which is, it's actually our main course. Even the spicy seasoned waterfowl was the main one. The main course, which you see brought out and being divvied up, is a roasted boar. So, ham and bacon,
Hell yeah.
working its way out to all the tables with all the fixins. Go for it.
If Tartucci walks by, I really will like trip him every time he goes by.
He's mostly sitting at your table, but there are other people
Are we
at.
still at our table?
It's a pretty big table.
Okay,
These are
okay.
like, you know, to
Like
take it back.
Hogwarts Great Hall style tables.
Longhouse tables.
Yeah, they're house tables, they're beer garden, they're long,
Okay.
like dining hall tables. So there's quite a few people here. And I will say throughout the evening, there's some like getting up and down and moving around. What are you all looking for? To really, you know, wear my GM-ness on my sleeve a little bit here. There's obviously some other NPCs in this room, and I don't want to just have people come up and keep talking to the player characters. What sort of things might catch your eye? What sort of general traits might I catch your attention with among these other people at your table? Or you could just say, I look at the whole table and I'll describe them, but like, let's have some fun. What are you looking for?
Ari is here because she's very impressed by and fascinated with the sword lords.
Okay.
And so she's like keeping an eye on, what's her name? The
Jumanji?
Jamandi.
Yeah,
like
she's the
just
primary
watching
one.
what she does and like is just like, wow.
Well, and keep in mind, well, you may have shat on him a touch. Miegar, because I'm going to hit that with a little more of a Slavic, because we're sort of
Miegar.
establishing that more. Miegar is a minor sword lord.
Yeah. So she's just like watching them, like maybe if they like listening to what they're talking about and what they're doing.
Now, because you mentioned swords, are you specifically interested in sword lords? Because I will say one of the other figures at the table, we talked about, there is this woman sitting at the table, and she's like a solid 6'4", easy.
Great.
Absolutely
Sigourney Weaver.
shredded,
It's still
Just-
Sigourney Weaver.
covered in animal skins, leather, and that armor looks like it has seen an adventure's worth of cuts.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm talking to her.
On her back is a great sword as big as you.
Biff cannot take his eyes off of her.
You know what? It's time.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
time.
Ari's going to be like, wow, that's some sword you got there. Whoa.
Oh.
Amiri.
Mhm.
Isn't that like a famous Pathfinder person?
Oh yeah, she's in this story.
She's an
Oh.
icon.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the barbarian icon.
This is the iconic
Yeah.
barbarian who was such a popular NPC in the computer game, and they remastered the Kingmaker AP. They put her in it as a NPC.
Yeah, that sword is massive. It's
Man,
like the
I
size
gotta
of her.
say,
So if you want to,
you look like you could take the head of a human clean off in one swipe, and that just kind of, that really does it for me.
Sorry about him, but you do look very cool.
speaking of how she looks, does anyone want to describe her?
Oh, all right.
Oh, he just got really excited.
Super buff. Has a sword that looks like it's seen its better days, honestly. It's like taped together.
Has
Duct tape.
like a midriff shirt on, but are those scars? Like
Yeah, oh,
she's
yeah.
showing off her the
Yeah.
number of times she's been stabbed in the torso.
It's like head to toe covered in weapons.
And like
Bow and arrow, great sword,
An axe.
Yeah.
with like, animal skins essentially
Yeah.
on all over her body.
Yeah.
Really cool long hair braid with like a short chop situation going on. I'm going to just rate hair on everybody now.
Okay.
Sure.
I like that.
with the hair.
I give this 8 of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I was looking at this and like, as we talked about and joked, like, we have an art historian at the table, it kind of gave me some sort of like Visigoth vibes,
Yes.
like majorly that.
I don't know. I see more Ostrogoth, but I get it.
Sorry, Tartuki?
Tartuki.
You want to keep that to yourself, buddy? So she sort of, at first, when you kind of say that, she just sort of like looks down at you. Oh, okay. You're very small.
Yeah, that's true. But listen, if you ever need, like a sidekick to be by your side at all times, you just let me know, because I'll follow you around.
No,
I can put on armor really fast for other people is what I mean.
That is,
That's
a
not
weird
a, that's
comment.
not a sexual thing. That's more like I'm just trying to help you out.
He did say put it on, not take it off.
Yeah, yeah.
You are humiliating.
Ari
Yeah, I
is
get that
going
a
to
lot.
find like whatever is the heaviest thing nearby possible and like pick it up and be like, oh, sorry, I just had to like move this over here.
Give me a strength check, or you know what? Give me an athletics check.
Okay. 7.
Jane's gonna roll.
Oh yeah, you know what?
All right.
It's probably not
You rolled a 7 or it's total 7?
It's a total of 7.
I
What's
want you to
your
know,
bonus?
7, 9, 11, 12, you rolled like a 10.
I
You're the
rolled a
only one
9.
that's rolled above 20.
I'm rolling
Trent.
rocks
Yeah.
over
What's
here.
your bonus to athletics?
+5. I rolled a 2.
Jesus, you gonna let that stand, or you gonna cash the patch in?
I'm going to patch it. I love this lady.
Oh my.
Might be worse. Oh,
It's only one way to
Oh.
get worse.
It didn't land inside of the thing.
That's whatever Jane's rule is for her dice. She knows her dice. What's your roll?
13
Okay.
Total.
total.
She sort of like lifts an eyebrow, smiles. Yeah. Good woman, yeah? What's your name?
Ari,
I am Amiri. It's nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
My name's Biff.
And she like kicks Biff. She's gonna like push Biff off the bench next to her and just like be like, whoop.
How many people have you killed?
So many.
Oh my god, me too. Did we just become friends?
Yeah, I think we did.
Wait.
I've
this
done
is
so
important.
many murders.
Okay,
She's like, by the way, this person, Ari is like 17. Like, she's like, yeah.
I was going to say, can I roll like a sense motive to see if she really has killed all those people?
sure. That'll be a secret check, though. What's
Okay,
your
yeah.
bonus?
Biff, you might
To what
you
it
might
be?
have a better chance
Yeah.
with the halfling.
Perception or to
Perception. What's your bonus?
perception? 7.
Yeah, 100%. You're like, oh my god, this is a war criminal.
I lean over to you, your character Lucky, and I'm like, she is a fucking murderer for real.
Well, let's get her some more
And she's
drinks.
like,
then.
meanwhile, just like has like both elbows up on the table and is like smiling at Amiri.
And is I fucking the shit out of this barbarian.
No, this is important. This is- yeah, do you like beer?
I love beer.
You know, I'm partial to beer too.
We shall drink.
And she
And
like
perhaps
links.
later, kill, yes?
Yes.
Oh,
she like
God,
links
yes.
arms and like starts drinking beers with her.
This is excellent.
I can get you some beer if you need.
Tell me, where are you from?
I'm from all over.
Ugh, yes? City person in the woods. I come from originally in the woods.
Yeah, more of a woods person too.
Yeah, I don't really
I'm
like
definitely
cities
more
either.
Now, if you want to, give me a survival check to sort of talk about, make an impression.
Oh,
This is where, like, I'm kind of guiding it, but like throughout Kingmaker, discovering and making an impression is really important.
If she starts to fuck this up, I'm going to step in and help her as a wingman.
Oh,
16 total.
no! Are you assisting? Do you want to
I'll
come in with an
assist.
assist?
Yeah.
What are you doing to assist?
I guess try and make sure you don't sound stupid. Like if you say the wrong word, I'll be like, "Do you mean this?" And just kind of
I'd be
help
like,
you along.
I've had so many beers. What's the word for tracking? That's it.
Tracking. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can be like, here in Brevway, it's known as.
Tracking.
Oh,
tracking.
yeah,
in Broadway.
tracking.
Yes.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
What's your bonus? What'd you get?
11. I didn't roll very well.
Okay, so you don't fail it.
Yeah.
And
16.
she just sort of looks at you like, well, you might need to learn more.
She's
I
very drunk.
would be honored.
No, I did not mean for me to teach you,
Oh.
but I'm sure that maybe one day someone will. Is that your sword?
Nikolai raises his hand. Jason is raising his hand,
teach you?
and Ari will like push his hand down.
I am curious though. That knife at your side.
Yeah.
Where is your sword?
I don't have a sword, but I would love to get a sword once I make some money.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, sometimes I get swords, just kill someone and take it.
Who should I fight for a sword? Who wants to fight?
I want to fight. You want to
Let's
arm
fight.
wrestle right now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yes. Yes. It would like to see that.
Sure.
Jane is taking her shirt off for real. I think she thinks she's going to arm wrestle James.
She would win
I would actually, we've done that before, and I have one
every single time.
every single time.
It's not even close.
It's the yoga.
They don't fuck with the yoga. Oh, thank God. So courtesy of...
I think I'm a barbarian in real life, fueled by rage.
Sure.
You might want to take a barbarian dedication.
So
Barbarian duelist. That would be dead.
there are some people listening who I know from my SEA days who will find that hilarious. Because there's a rule for that. There's a whole there's 15 pages on Amiri and the whole extra book, the Companion's Guide, which is a dope ass book Paizo put out. And so I was flipping through and be like, all right, I'm sure she has an athletics bonus. Let me find it. And I accidentally flipped to the page that's like, if Amari's still alive and continues, here's her CR11 stats. And I'm like, nope, we're not using that.
Whoa.
What do you think? Roll against plus 17.
Yeah, easy.
All right, so you're both a drink in. She's down.
Okay, what do I do?
We're just going to roll head-to-head athletics.
Head-to-head athletics. This is going to go badly for
Can I
me.
cast guidance on her?
Yes, but you'd have to do a stealth check so that Amiri doesn't notice.
I'll try it.
And now, give me a society check first to know something.
Amiri's going to rip your head off.
That's fine. Society, that'll be
I have a DC
13.
in mind. Yeah. You can, no way this could go wrong. Give me a stealth check first.
It's so much scarier.
And she's
when he says
slightly
stuff like that.
inebriated.
Well, that's pretty good.
So we're going to do this against that. We're going to give her a -1 for inebriation. All right. I've got her total.
18.
All right.
Do I have guidance?
I kind
that
of
should
put
be
my
a
hand on
stealth
your
check,
shoulder
but
and I'm
it should be a
like,
secret
Can I,
check. But
can I
whatever.
do
Yes.
something really
oh,
quick
it can
too?
be. Yeah.
No, we're going to leave that. We're
Okay.
going to let it play. I fucked that up. What's up?
While they're arm wrestling, Lucky wants to pickpocket Ari.
Amazing.
Are you going to get the coin that she pickpocketed from Tartuki?
Definitely.
I'm just going to pass around.
All right, let's go for it. So you get a +1 to this, Jane.
All right.
Oh, God. Off the table. Ooh, okay. I've got it.
16 total.
So you both lock arms, and you can feel like her hand is so calloused. And you're a swashbuckler, so I think you might recognize that like the calluses you can feel are used to holding something giant. For like those of you who don't want to look up an image of Amari, which you should, she's dope. We've referenced this like manga or anime before. But the description of Guts' sword in Berserk, the idea that it's so big and so heavy, it's not even really a blade. It is just a giant blunt piece of steel.
It's like Cloud's sword from Final Fantasy. It's fucking
It's like a
huge.
helicopter blade.
Yeah, basically. And so she locks it. You can feel like where the calluses have built up to hold and maneuver a like 30-pound blade. And you lock and you clench, and she like deep in the eyes, just like, "Urgh," and you're pushing like back and forth and back and forth. "Urgh," and she has you down, like your arms kind of going out. And you feel that like just little tickle of magic in your leg. And you slam her hand down. And you can see the pain it causes in her arm and like a little fire behind her eyes for a second. And then she just smiles, like looks at you and just like slaps you across the face.
Damn.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I look over at
we need to get you a sword. She just like into a room full of other people shouting and screaming. No one hears it. And she says, someone get this woman a sword.
Does anybody give me a sword?
Nikolai slides a beer over to Biff.
I'm not really sure I've ever felt this in my loins before.
And I will say,
Perhaps go back out into the rain. It's cold.
anyone who's watching will see that Miegar like does kind of like have like a small smile of like appreciating like the camaraderie and like has a like nod from his drink. Not like in any sort of he's intending to participate. But, you know, you see something go on and you're like, dope. Sort of gives you that look.
I rolled a 20 pickpocket.
What's your thievery bonus?
+6.
Okay, yeah, you lift the same coin that she stole from Tartutia. What's your society bonus?
+6.
Okay,
I will get this coin back. I just want you to
don't even know
know.
it's gone.
you actually do notice something.
Oh, I do?
About the coin.
Oh, great.
I mean, I don't know. Would you look at it much, or do you just kind of blindly pocket it? It's minted. It's a Pitax gold coin, which is it's a region off to the west, I believe, but it's a neighboring region that is ruled by a tyrant, that sort of deluded megalomaniac that sort of sees himself as another sort of like king god ascending sort of shit.
Gotcha.
Not
I know
on
a certain
great terms.
gunslinging assassin who will have something to say about that.
Another one of the anathemas of that god. Oh my god, what's that god's name?
A Chekek.
One of the anathemas of a Chekek is to kill a rightful monarch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I really want to have a spinoff now of Val going to find and kill that guy.
But, so like, not wild to see a coin like that here,
Sure.
but like, not common.
Okay.
But
I think we should hire
Gold
the
is gold.
halfling that we have in our service now, Drosharis and Val, to go kill this guy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're throwing down. Amiri is like continuing to pound drinks back with you. She's having a good time. I'm going to say that was enough of a success. I'll let you know that one of her influence skills is athletics to physically impress her.
Amazing. With a 16?
So
This is just another thing that's like weird about playing now at first level after play it. That I was like, oh god, what a fail with 16. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're at first level again.
I didn't have to hit 42.
Yeah.
here's what I'm going to say. A little look behind the GM screen here is that I actually, that is enough to just win her a point. But because it was a contest, I was having you roll against her. If you won, I was going to count it as a critical success on influencing her. But if you lost, I was going to have you lose a point of influence with her because she not only saw you as weak, but knows that she is directly stronger than you. But, you know, no big deal. I will also say you do kind of obviously get some of the impression that she values strength a lot, and she does sort of see herself as one of the, like a woman who's dealt with like prejudices around gender a little bit. So seeing another woman there, I will say there are a couple other women at the table. Lindsay is probably still occasionally like just taking notes and drawing a lot of this. And she has a great little quick figure sketch of the two of you wrestling, like arm wrestling.
Now make sure to get me in there as well. I was watching.
Oh, I right there in the background. See that smudge? It's sort of like a framing piece.
Yeah, I suppose that could be me.
There are two other women at the table, though. There is a sort of very, very pale elven woman with raven black hair, absolutely no jewelry. She's sort of down at the end of the table, and her eyes have been sort of down. She hasn't made a lot of eye contact with other people. Her body language is kind of closed, maybe a little more like defensive than like aggressively closed. And leaning at the table next to her is a like person-sized scythe. One other woman that you would sort of clock sitting at the table. Let me scroll down and find her description. You see this almost as tall as Amiri. Like, I think she might be taller. Amiri's like 6'3" or 4. This woman's almost 6'5". Like a Valkyrie of a woman with like strikingly gorgeous blue eyes, haircut, almost like a page boy bowl cut, that like no care for fashion, but easy to fit under a helmet. She's sitting down at the table, like perfect posture, eating everything very well, and just sort of focused on herself a little bit, striking blue eyes and blonde hair. Other than that, since I'm just going around the table now, like I said, I wouldn't. Really, the only other kind of big figure that stands out around your table, because your table at this point is pretty full with all the different people I'm telling you there. There is a dwarf who you see there, sort of middle-aged, bald head, a long salt and pepper beard, like heavy clothes. Looks like you probably could wear armor over them, but has a lot of it sort of taken off. Big, bushy beard kind of coming down. And he's just chewing away at his food, has sort of a perpetual scowl on his forehead, but almost smile on his face. Oddly kind of ticks to himself, talks occasionally. What are you laughing at, Jane?
This is a complete aside, but when you're describing this character, it made me think of a mutual friend of ours, Kevin, who has run a couple games that I've played in before, and just has this tendency to every time he's describing a new character go, with a great bushy beard.
Isn't that a line from Hot Fuzz or something?
I guess, but Kevin says it all the time. So when you said that, all I could think of was Kevin. Kevin, that's for you.
Great big bushy beard.
Big bushy beard.
Yeah, those are sort of the rest of the people at your table. You're sort of nearing the end of the fourth course, your roasted boar.
Is there any, like, what I'd be looking around for is people with bows and arrows that we haven't talked to, or even someone who's religious, or if lucky enough, another Erastil follower.
You know what? This will be a recall knowledge check. What's your religion bonus?
+7.
Ooh, let me roll this on this side for you. You actually do clock something. It's a little hard to pick out at first, but you see that dwarf who's eating there has a symbol on his chest that you don't initially recognize because it's not a very common god. So probably the rest of you would have missed this, but you pick out that on his chest is the sign of the god Grotus, the mad
moon
god of
god.
the moon. Wow, Jane with the deep cut, ready for it.
Hey. Gods of Galarian podcast coming out soon.
Oh God, Jane's in. We got it.
Big Pathfinder lore buff over here.
I'll walk up to that guy and just be like, Grotus, huh? He's not a very common god around here.
Hey, what of it?
I'm just trying to make a conversation.
I know.
Everyone is so mean to you.
Everyone at this table is a bunch of assholes.
Well, in the long run, everyone's an asshole. But no, I'm sorry. Many people, those would recognize the enlightened god, don't always treat it with the most respect. I didn't mean
no disrespect to you and your god.
No, thank you. It's very kind. I'm Harem.
Can you spell that? I am writing things down.
Yes, Harrim. No, but
Where are you from, Aram?
it doesn't really matter where people are from.
I agree.
Okay.
Who the fuck is that?
What? Oh, sorry, my name's Biff.
Biff. I'm Harem.
What do
Yeah.
you hope to accomplish here?
I got
Adam.
that.
Oh, well, look, I am here to just abandon hope and embrace the inevitable.
A real fuck it attitude.
It's not so much as that. I just think that there is, as things break apart, helping them do so well and at the right time is a part of the God's ways. It is high time to preach the upcoming of the end. Destroy that which has outlived its usefulness. And there are some functions, some societies, some traits that they've been around too long. Change is coming, the end is coming.
Man, there's always one of these guys at the party, isn't there?
Very cheery
Man.
guy. Very cheery.
Well, Harem, I wish you all the best. And hopefully we can help each other in the future.
No, I appreciate that. My accent for him's all over. I'll settle on something.
Perhaps when
Settle on
Crotos'
something.
tears are all down, the rest we'll put it back together, yes?
That's for them to settle. Well, I'm all
This
over
guy
with
is
him.
kind of a downer.
What I will say is you did pull
puts his hand over the side of his face and is like, this guy's down.
you
come
did
over here.
pull with a discovery, because I'm choosing to take your religion check as a discovery check. You'd think that you can talk with him about religion, and sort of you are, it just sounds like, even trying to engage on sort of an understanding of the religious interactions between Erastil and Grotus. Could you give me a religion check to sort of make a little bit of an impression on this guy? Dun, dun.
18.
Nice. And I think if you're willing to like spend another couple minutes, like he will engage you in a very, very good faith conversation. He's pessimistic as shit, but as you spend time talking with him, he's actually a pretty engaging conversationalist. He's just as eager to listen to you and to ask a question for clarification, to understand. And despite having some like oppositions in the way that he approaches his religion, very respectful of understanding and sort of talking about those interactions. Based on what you've told with me, I almost wonder if the two of you kind of start talking about the need for some societal change away from these sort of more modern, like things that sort of take away from family, like these larger communities that are a little less humanizing. Maybe you from the Erastil point of view of like, you know, it's when it's just 4 or 5 other people, you can care about everyone, but in larger cities, it's harder to have that community. And he's sort of talking about the need for cities to crumble and sort of new hierarchies to rise. And it's a staggeringly pleasant conversation for such a downer of a person.
Cool. That's cool.
What a weirdo.
Yikes.
But yeah, anyone else? Any other kind of points you'll make? I'll say we start getting towards maybe the towards the final bit. This course is probably the longest. It's the main course. You're taking your time. They've refilled the wines, the meads, the ales, the beers, the waters a couple of times.
Does anyone give me a sword?
No one gives you a sword.
Damn
but
it.
Amari does actually have you try to heft her sword up.
I'm in the corner trying to lift her sword.
That's you in the corner. You know what? If you're still continuing to invest time with Amari, like, is that where you are the rest of the night?
Yeah.
Give me another athletics check to try to raise her sword. Or an intimidate one to talk your way out of why you shouldn't be able to raise it.
Hit it.
11 on athletics.
You aren't able to raise it. It's not a critical fail, but she's like, well, you know, perhaps I can teach you over time.
Yeah, that'd be great if we did that together.
This is just giving me big Michael Cera energy right now.
I think
What's Lucky up
Lucky will
to?
talk to the elf.
Oh, the giant scythe.
Yeah.
Okay. You sort of sit down, and I guess it's time for that little bit
I
again.
bring a drink over.
Okay, let's. You know what time it is?
Oh, okay.
Let's describe her.
Go with the hair first, Jane.
Whoa.
Okay, hair 7 of 10, pretty good. Not like exciting really. It's just long, dark hair.
Is bad bitch an appropriate subscription?
Definite
Sure.
bad bitch energy.
Yeah.
That blade is huge.
Yeah, she's big. She's
Huge scythe.
Yeah, that thing is.
what's her dad's size scythe?
Kind of like Megan Fox. If Megan Fox was a vampire elf with a huge scythe.
I can
Okay,
see that.
cool.
The
Yeah.
scythe
Vampire.
looks like a farm utensil. Like, because of the curve in the
It's kind of
wood.
true, yeah.
There's also some sort of like weird swirly smoke situation going on around her.
Yeah, she's doing something weird there.
She's pretty pale.
Part. She's passing gas.
Oh,
And
yeah, sure.
swirling it
Makes
around
sense.
so she
Woo.
can't tell it's from her.
Yeah.
What is she wearing? Can you move this like closer? There we go.
It's like olive drab leather, but this red.
Yeah, like
glowy stuff.
red flare to it. Also, she's like actually pretty buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty utilitarian clothing. Looks like there's some bits of bone woven into a little bit of that belt, but looks like it's some clothes that get shit done. So you sort of sit down, and she sort of looks up at you, like mostly with her eyes. Her face is still down. Sort of takes a sip of the drink that she currently has on her own.
What was her name again?
She hasn't introduced herself
Oh, I'm
yet.
sorry. Apologize.
How dare you?
Looking
Hey
at her
there.
her nameplate on the table. Does she have a name?
It's a sign seating.
But
Could
I will
everyone
say,
fill out these "Hi, my name is" stickers and put them on, please?
my name is. I will say, Lucky, you would have clocked that Tartusio did try to talk to her once or twice, and she just sort of brushed him off a little bit with a lot of like body language and not
Perfect.
saying a whole lot.
Yeah, that Tartusio guy's a real piece of work, huh?
I suppose so.
Lucky. Nice to meet you.
It's Lucky.
That's my name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I wasn't clear.
No,
That's a good pickup line, though.
Um,
I'm very lucky to meet you. Lucky La Chance.
I'm Jathal.
Lovely to meet you.
Oh,
What, I was going to say what brings you here, but I think we know what brings you here.
Well, you do?
I mean, call for heroes.
Oh,
You
yes.
look pretty damn heroic to me.
Ah, you're being a touch too kind. So, because you said you were kind of looking before you came over, let's say that you could have been making a discovery check, because I'm trying to
Okay,
get us familiar
okay.
with this. What skill would you have wanted to try to discover with? What I'll say is, if you are unsure, perception is always an option. It's usually, if you can pick up on other traits, it's an easier one. And you may want to make multiple discovery traits as you get to know someone, because discovery will give you a skill to influence them. So as you learn more, it might give you a skill that has a lower DC or is easier on. But perception is always an option.
I'll use perception just because I think I don't know enough about them to
Okay,
do anything else.
sure.
Open roll.
Yep, this one's actually no. Discovery is closed. What's your perception
I think
bonus?
it's a +6. Give me 1 sec.
Okay,
Yeah, +6.
so
Expert.
ooh, good to know. So you're not able to get a read on her.
Okay.
So you're not sure, but like I said, basically the majority of the D's always, the D and I's, diplomacy, deception, intimidation, there's always some variation of making those work.
Okay.
Those are, like I said, that's why I love it. You can always go to the ones, but there might be easier DCs if you have a common interest. So she's just sort of talking with you. That's right. The call. Sorry. Anyway, what's Lucky?
Yeah.
Are you?
Well, I guess we'll find out later.
About to be.
So, you have big dreams. You're gonna start a town? I don't know.
Just
I have Michael Sarah energy right now.
Are you going to start a town or
Start a
what?
town.
I just think there's an opportunity to find a home.
A home, yeah.
Isn't that what we all want? Somewhere that feels right for us.
I think so. It's been hard to come by for me. So I guess we're in the same boat.
At this point, and I'm going to try to, I feel like we've done this in some of our actually non-recorded games, but I kind of like the idea of calling for a check when we're a little bit into a conversation but not over, because it's,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
then fun to adjust the rest of the role-playing based on how good your check is or isn't. I'm kind of hearing some diplomacy, but I'm open to other skills if you feel like deception maybe or something else. Like I said, diplomacy, deception, and intimidate are always on the table, and so since you don't know of anything else,
She
that's what I'm
noble.
suggesting. You don't seem to clock any of that. Like her dress we talked about was pretty utilitarian in
Good.
the outfit.
Because I get a -1 for diplomacy against nobles. So I'll go diplomacy.
Sure. Ooh, here it comes, heating up the die.
Nope, 10.
I suppose. Thank you. You have an extra drink there.
Oh yeah, it's for you.
I'm good, thank you though.
I'll just leave it here in case you change your mind.
I'll take it.
Excellent. I
Thanks,
suppose
Biff. Thanks.
Who's Biff?
Oh, this guy over here. You want to meet him?
Howdy.
I suppose hello.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, he's into that big barbarian
I mean,
gal
just
over
look
there.
at,
You look over, and R is just like arm in arm singing a ballad with Amiri.
I mean, it's just so powerful and mighty.
I mean, look at this blade, though.
Yeah, it is pretty badass.
Oh,
Are you a farmer
Thank you.
too?
No. I'm just traveling the land. If
What does that
you
mean?
will. That's right. I want to see what's out there.
Oh.
I think there's
Yeah, I
a
get
chance
that.
for me to sort of re-enter the world again.
Again.
Yeah, you would have clocked at this point pointy ears. She has like full elven traits, so there's a chance that she just maybe has been, you know how elves are, like generations, like human multiple lives, sort of attached from the world.
Well, if you need an easy entry point back into the world, you got some friendly faces here. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Biff, do you want to make a diplomacy check as you were just sort of talking, or?
Nah.
Okay. Cool.
She looks badass, but she's not the most badass in the room, so he's not really interested.
Fair enough. All right. Well, finally.
Her comments about finding a home are intriguing to me, though.
Yeah, do you want to work your way over there?
I do.
Okay. What kind of check do you want to make on the way in
I'm going to do a...
for discovery? Sort of. I love these mechanics. I love for like getting a read on
when
someone.
Nikolai comes over, I leave.
Okay.
And then I also
I was
leave-
going to say, getting approached at a bar by one dude and then all of his dude friends coming over to talk to you is so terrible.
There is a vibe, like people are moving around and chatting, so it isn't like
I just
at a bar.
imagine this elf just
My
trying to
body
eat her
language does
dinner
not
and she's
say,
like,
I want to bone you.
Okay.
Lucky also leaves the room. Is there like somewhere to step out?
Yeah, you can step out the front doors again into the rain.
Is there like a side room so I don't have to get wet?
There's like an overhang. There's like a
Okay.
what's it called? Yeah, you want to have a smoke or something?
I'll step out for a second.
Okay.
I'll
For
do
no reason at all?
diplomacy.
I'll let you know.
Okay. To get a read on the way in.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a perception instead on the way in.
Okay. You want me to roll it?
Actually, let me double check. What's your perception bonus?
+7.
Yeah, diplomacy is not going to be as good
Okay.
for like getting a read on. Now, for talking, diplomacy is always an option, but for
Okay.
getting a read, perception is always an option.
And I guess I want to know... I feel like... No, you just tell me what you're going to say. So I've had everything I was going to say, but it sounds dumb.
So
when
what's
I
your
say it.
bonus?
+7.
Okay. You what are you interested in? You said you kind of want to know something, and there's a lot of things here, and I can shape it towards that.
Is she a follower of any type of deity?
What's your bonus to religion?
7.
Because I'm going to change this roll over.
Same
So
same
you
roll.
actually clock, and it's very,
Is it for asthma?
very subtle. No, it's not.
Damn it.
It's in small bits and pieces, but you're able to piece together. It's not. I'd almost call it like paraphernalia, right? Like it
Okay.
isn't the direct symbol of, but what you see are some signs and like some notes of Ergothoa.
Oh.
All right.
Jason, what do you know about Ergothoa?
Jason? Not very much.
Ergothoa is a baddie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do know that. But
God of undead, right?
Well, remember,
It's like
I think I'm
Alignment
confusing
is
what
out.
MASH to.
Mashu is the
Is the
mother
monsters.
of monsters.
it's like there's an undead tie. I know. The like depiction of her is like a human face with like a skeletal body, right?
And
This
like
is
a fly.
Ergothoa.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
You wanna-
that's terrible.
You want to say what it is for the crowd? Does someone want to describe it? Because Jane just shrieked, and this is an
It's
audio
a-
podcast.
Zombie woman, but she has no flesh from the breast.
Okay,
to
but
the-
I was
like
gonna say,
so-
why did it stop at the boobs?
Yeah,
Like,
it does have.
It's
it does have a
somehow
scythe.
it's somehow worse than just being a skeleton though, because it's kind of like
Yeah.
the bones are like bloody.
yeah.
fresh and
Yeah.
juicy.
So, Ergothoa.
And also her skin is blue
Yeah.
and deathy looking in and of itself.
Her scythe is cooler than the
That's
farmer
true.
scythe.
That's a
Though.
very
Her hair,
awesome scythe.
9 of 10.
9 of 10.
great hair. Ergothoa is known as the Pallid Princess,
Pallid princess. That's right.
and
It's all coming
her
back to me now.
her sign, I believe, is that like death's head moth.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let's see.
Shades of the L to D
Yeah.
symbol.
little bit of stuff
True.
going on there. So yeah, you do clock it. It's kind of subtle in some small ways, but you're like, wait a second. The scythe, a couple of bones in that belt. You're not 100%, but like, maybe you're Gathoa.
I'll
Could
say
be.
that when I walk up to her. You are a follower of Ergothoa, yes?
And I think she is like instantly, like you see like her muscles drawn, like she tightens up a little and looks at you, unsure
mean,
what's going to come next.
I mean no harm or don't plan to put you down like everyone else at the party, but I'm a follower of Erastil, making conversation.
Arastal is a
see many-
specific enemy of Ergothoa.
I do not ever see many Ergothoans here, and honestly, I am intrigued.
We should fight to the death.
Right now.
Well, I'm also keeping the peace as another like thing that I do, so I don't want to fight her here in the middle of this hall.
Her like for the first time she shows a little bit of emotion, and like her lip kind of comes up from her teeth a little bit, like almost subconsciously peels back a little to show a normal canine fang.
Yeah.
Sits back.
Hey, I got some of those too.
Is Biff still over here? What kind of check do you want to make? Because you're kind of continuing this interaction.
Religion. I'll continue religion, and I'm gonna try to find overlapping areas to try to make
Okay.
it more diplomatic.
Sure.
And I'm gonna use this neon green.
Ooh, is this the one that was rolling hot for you at the end of the last show?
Let's see how it does. Does pretty
Hey,
good. How's it
pretty good.
22?
Ooh.
Okay, 32.
22.
22.
22. Yeah. Sorry, we're not
I
playing
know.
that game anymore. It's like, wow, 32 is really, really fucking high, man. Because I was like sharing this, the edicts of Ergothoa is become undead upon death, create or protect undead, sate your appetites. Anathema, deny your appetites, destroy undead, sacrifice your life. Areas of concern, disease, gluttony, and undeath.
One thing I do know about Ergothoa is your affinity to protect the undead. Erastil is very much a god of protection. It is one of the reasons I have chosen to follow him.
I think the Pallid Princess might not see eye to eye with old Deadeye, as it were, though, on many other things. But I suppose you're right. There is an opportunity to see some things in kind.
Perhaps that is between them and not between you and I.
What did you say your name was?
My name is Nikolai, House of Medved.
I am Jathal. No house.
Not a problem.
Well,
It is a pleasure to meet you, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
that's unerringly kind.
Well, I would be described as unerringly kind sometimes.
I would not. But your time and your willingness to talk have been noted. Thank you.
I also wish you the best in finding a home. I
Thank
know
you.
that is extremely important to everyone to have a place of belonging.
Perhaps I can earn one.
Perhaps.
She just sort of nods and goes back to her drink.
I go back to my table.
You know what? Give me a... What's your religion bonus again?
7.
7? Okay. Yep.
Cool.
Back through the front door.
Okay.
Then he goes around the corner. It's like,
In walks a tabby cat. Just traipses into the room.
Hello, kitty kitty.
Has,
I pull a red dot out. And I start,
no, just a tabby cat.
Just a tabby
Oh,
cat.
so your character's not back in the room. A tabby cat is.
My character's back in the room.
Is your character the tabby cat?
My character's the tabby cat.
Ari's like, oh, a kitty, and like tries to give you some food.
And you notice when you get close that it's got a gold coin in its mouth.
I believe it's
And she
stole
like
that coin
grabs for
from
the
you.
cat.
And Amiri leans over to you and is like, did you know that pound for pound, cat out-hunt its weight over every other
Deadliest
animal?
killer in the wild. I know.
Except for me.
But I'm going to grab this cat.
Yeah. Yeah, cats are pretty cool. Yeah.
Damn it, Biff.
I didn't know Biff was a cat guy.
He's an Amiri guy.
Yeah.
Whatever Amiri likes, he likes.
Like, I love cat.
Who is this? Is this your cat?
Yeah, totally my cat. And she like glowers at the cat.
Exactly.
Yeah, the cat likes me, and he's like petting.
I ran away.
He's just, he's just being aloof.
All right, the final course.
One thing.
Go for it.
In the Starfinder game that I used to play, I played a Vesk, which is like a warlike lizard creature, but its name was a Vesk named Sue, and she was like a pacifist and really nice. Had a southern accent that reminds me of Biff. But the thing that I would always do when I would walk into a room and go, "Well, hi," and that is just what I want. I want this to be your evolution of "Hello, I'm Watson."
Yeah, I
well,
like that.
hi,
Howdy.
howdy, I'm Biff.
Howdy. All right. Finally, the doors open. The fourth course comes in. A finishing selection of cheeses, fine pastries, savory and sweet, out across the tables. You all can start to dig in.
Mm-hmm. Ari's chasing the cat to get the gold coin back.
I'll drop the gold coin in your ale as I run on the table.
And
When the coin goes in there, I fill it up a little bit more.
yeah, and she's going to like down the ale and then get the coin in her mouth and just put it back in her pocket.
Can we roll for that to see if she chokes?
Sure.
A choke roll.
Athletics, acrobatics.
Do you have drinking lore? Do
I literally worship a drunk god.
you have Kate and Colleen lore? I'd also accept that.
How do I know what lures I have?
And your skills, if you
Yeah,
have
I'll
any
say lore.
lores.
I don't think
nope.
you had any lores.
No
You might have a
lore.
lore from your background. Sometimes backgrounds give lores, but Mox mixed.
Might have some type of celestial lore.
All right. So you drink it. Yeah, give me a give me a save. Your choice of a reflex or a fortitude save.
Oh,
Fortitude,
okay.
either to
I'm
like,
gonna do a
keep your
reflex.
calm or
Okay.
reflex to catch it in your teeth as you drink it.
What's
Reflex
the DC
save.
for the Heimlich?
It's a medicine check, DC
I have a
12.
pretty good. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a 16 reflex
You'll be
save.
fine.
You catch the gold coin in your teeth. This is the same gold coin that you stole from Tartuccio, right? That you're now
Yeah.
displaying in public.
I catch it. I said I'd catch it in my teeth and pocket it.
Okay.
It's the cat that had it. It's not her.
Yeah, I took it from the
The
cat.
cat gave it to her. Cats are mischievous.
All right. At this point, the pastries have all hit. Soft cheeses, fine pastries.
So hungry, actually.
Yeah. But there's a lot of food talk at the beginning of this. Some real Jar Jar Martin shit going
I
on
love
here.
it.
Is Tartuccio talking to anyone? Is he kind of
he's-
been like secluded because no one likes him?
No, he's talked to he's talked to Miegar a couple of times, and he's tried to talk to everyone. He's probably, you see the like really tall blonde woman like sort of politely talking with him. He's sort of gone around and talked to a few people. He's even like sort of moved over to a couple of the other tables a few times. Which I will say, like looking around the room, you finally get a little bit of a look at some of the other people who would be sort of clocking the others in the room, probably.
If I'm not focused on the Urgathoa lady, I would sit back down and look around the table.
I'm probably like in cat form up on something, just watching.
Okay. So then a
Cats
couple of
on
you,
the table. It's disgusting.
I'm just looking for
Animals
strong
among us.
people.
you do see some people that probably stand out to you. There are some other groups of adventurers. There's even another group that like is all in matching armor together, and like you can tell is like been through some shit. And some other groups.
There was a blonde lady bigger than Amiri.
Yeah,
Taller, yeah.
she's built like a warrior though. Like
Yeah, let's
And she was wearing armor, right?
yeah.
howdy.
So you walk
You
over.
look big and powerful.
I suppose. Thank you. It's that you have very green scales.
That is accurate. My name is Biff.
I'm Valerie, and let's do a little thing here.
Yay.
You have very green scales is not what I was expecting them to say.
Wow, Valerie is
Oh yeah.
decked out. Like
Oh, yeah.
full on armor head to toe.
Big shield.
Big shield.
some sort of sword. Long sword, maybe?
Long sword.
Like
Brienne of
Or
Tarth
bastard
vibes.
sword.
Yeah,
Plate
Brienne of
mail.
Tarth
Yeah,
vibes.
definitely Brienne of Tarth vibe.
Also, kind of like if the mom from Parent Trap was a warrior and not a dress designer.
Yeah, yeah.
So talk through the look here, Someone. What's the hair rating?
Hair rating,
It's pretty low, right?
4 of 10.
Very utilitarian.
Yeah.
It's an 80s mom cut.
It's an 80s mom
Yeah.
cut, but it's like also uneven, which I don't like, and the bangs need help.
Probably
Is
does it
They're
herself.
like circle bangs. Like, yeah, not good.
Is it full plate armor
Yeah, it's full plate.
Certainly looks like
or
it.
half plate?
Plate
She
with
has
a shield
a-
and a sword.
A sword, yeah.
So champion or fighter of some sort.
Could be anything.
Could
I'm
be
gonna write
anything.
Also
champion.
has some like red flair in her outfit.
Oh yeah.
Like little red embellishments everywhere.
Is it
Yeah.
red or blood? Okay,
It's
it's
red.
red.
Now that shield is about 4 times my size.
It's an excellent shield. It's fine made.
And do you stand behind that often?
I stand with it.
Yeah. Well, this has been some fascinating conversation, I gotta say.
So now, do you want to give me a discovery check on your way over?
Yeah, sure.
You can try whatever you want. You know, you can always use perception, or you can attempt to roll the dice, literally and figuratively, on something else that might be easier.
How about like an well, let's do an athletics. But just kind of like you're big and strong.
Sure. To
How about
discover,
that?
you're going to see if she has any like displays,
about
anything that
that?
might athletically tell you more about her.
Yeah.
All right, now this is a secret check. What's your bonus?
5.
Okay. Nothing sort of particularly reads as interesting one way or another, so you'll have to go into any influence check you make with her blind, essentially. Okay, you kind of walk up and talk with her. As you're talking with her, what check do you want to make to try to influence her?
Diplomacy is fine.
Okay, go for it. Any particular like note on the diplomacy? Like how are you carrying yourself? How would you describe your interaction?
Biff is generally, as a kobold, just trying to be a follower of somebody who looks
Sure.
more powerful than him.
Okay,
So he's kind of like, wow, you look like you can really handle yourself there.
sure.
That's an 11.
Well, I thank you for your time. I'm not sure I caught your name.
Oh, that's Biff. That's BIF, short and sweet, like yours truly.
Excellent. Well, I am Valerie. Thank you for your time, Biff, and I hope your evening is wonderful and your food is good.
Kind of sounds like you're saying goodbye.
Suppose I was implying that a touch, but if you have more you'd like to say, I do not mean to cut you at all short.
Thinking here. No, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, I hope you do well.
How long does it take you to put on that armor? Because, you know, one of my specialties,
Mm.
I gotta say, is helping people put on armor.
I find that good practice helps make it quick.
Yeah, I agree.
A used blade never dulls, and I keep my skills and my blade sharp enough.
I might have to use that one. That's pretty good.
Well,
I
it's
can
not mine.
probably half the time to help you put that on if you ever needed it.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself, thank you. But I appreciate.
Well, all right.
But I appreciate that you are making an offer and an attempt to extend, martial assistance. And that's,
You're a very literal person, aren't you?
I don't mean to be. Thank you, though. I think that's if it's meant as such, that's a kind compliment.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean it as an insult or anything, just kind of an observation.
Oh well, thank you. That the spear you have with you, a trident, yes?
Oh, yeah, you know, I just kind of picked this up along the way sort of thing.
Oh, if you don't mind me asking, where did you train to use it?
Oh, train is kind of a loose term, I'd say, around me. My background don't really, you know, things happen to you, don't really want to talk about, but
I more than understand that
Oh, yeah?
myself. But so do you use it akimbo with shield? Is it more of like a singular tool for you?
yeah, see, I've got this little shield here that I like to use.
Excellent.
I kind of like one hand shield, one hand trident sort of thing.
So I'm going to, your role play has been good enough here. If you want to give me one more attempt, it's been about another 20 minutes. Each of these checks can take about 20 minutes to size someone up to engage. Give me a warfare lore.
Yes.
So just sort of like talking through like kind of how you work on this.
Do you want the bonus or you want me to roll it?
No, you can roll. This is an open check.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, give me yourself a plus 2 on this.
That would be a 21.
Ooh.
And she's like, that's fascinating. So I use these as sort of gestures to her sword and shield.
Whoa.
And I'll find that, like, I really do find that it's much more of like a give and take, and I'll get in close. When you get up close with a longer weapon, and just, she really kind of gets into, like, at first is a little off taken, and she's like, oh, is someone hitting on me? And as soon as it becomes like a little more martial, like not much about like an attraction, but about like an interest, she's really engaging with you on those principles. And it's kind of not long from there that we're kind of nearing the end of the feast.
Before we get too far, is Valerie from outside of the Kingmaker AP as well?
I don't know. I know she's in the Kingmaker
She's in the game.
video
She's
game
in the
for
game?
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I could have swore I've seen this person somewhere in a AP before. But
She's very similar to some other things.
Okay.
So say it's at this time, though, that a bell, bing, rings throughout the room and the whole room goes silent. Tune in next week to find out what happens with that bell.
All right.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Leave a review and tune in next week for more. If you like the amazing background audio and music, all that credit goes to Syrinscape. Make sure you check them out at Syrinscape.com.